A very big welcome to you all, and thank you for your patience. This is the Crown E-League, and this is Webbo, your commentator. I'm doing Group 1 tonight after doing Group 2 twice before. But joining me in the comments box tonight is Lesty. Lesty, welcome, and hopefully you're looking forward to a good evening's racing. Hopefully that's going to pick up shortly. But yeah, Group 1 is led currently by LFR, and very closely behind is TF Esports. And remember that the top two from each of our groups do go through to the finals, guaranteed. And then it is a competition really between who can score the highest points in third place across both groups to take that fifth place in the championship. You can see NLR right up there as well, and CPI some way behind, and the Dutch Racing Alliance were late to the party, so to speak. Just a quick sneaky look at Group 2 standings. Just because of that third place issue, you currently see GS Gaming on 146 versus NLR's 186. So NLR in a good, strong position. But I think it's about time we got out there on track. It looks like we're heading out to Barcelona, and we've got a couple of drivers already out there on track. I think it's one of your drivers, Lesty. It's one of the CPI drivers out there on track first of all, and we'll probably use him as a reference. It's Razorback.
He is Razorback indeed. We're hoping he just holds his connection for this whole qualifying session and race. To be honest, that's the main aim. But he's one of the team who looks to be the fastest around here. So hopefully this will be a good lap, as he is now coming around the last corner to get that lap underway.
Yeah, take us away on terms of watching him on track, if you will.
Yeah, of course. He's run on the long run down to turn one. You've got to get as wide as possible, bring it in for that first corner, and then on the second corner, making sure you're not losing that back end. Then it's a really wide, tight right-hander. You've got to keep it nice and steady around there. He's coming up to the fourth turn now. He's looking good so far. I think he's just settling in to this lap. It's going to be the benchmark, and he's looking good. No major mistakes from Razor so far. As we've lost an NLR driver.
Yeah, Gareth Hugh with an issue. I can't see it. It's only exited turn 3, it seems. Quite an easy place to lose the car, but to lose it so early in the session is a big drama. Just finishing off though with Raceback's lap as he heads into the tricky final sector.
He's got to get this final chicane before the final turn is so crucial to whether you're going to lose or gain a few tenths. And the benchmark he's set is a 1:16.7, and I think we'll be looking at low 16s for pole position today.
Good stuff. Well, a 16.766 is Razorback's benchmark. Yagizan for TFL goes fastest, in fact, on a 16.453 as we were watching him. One of the Dutch Racing Alliance drivers. Bo is just finishing off the final sector as Abzi for NLR. It's going to be difficult with TFL and NLR having the same colour scheme as their icon. Felix 1 goes second on a 16.539 and Bo a 17.592. So leaving a little bit of margin out there. Yagizan's time, Lesty, on the medium tyre.
Yeah, and his teammate has gone even faster, a couple of tenths faster. TFL Mika, they've really hit the ground running ever since they got into the competition in round 2, and they're not looking like they're slowing down in this qualifying session. So that's a great start for them on the medium tyres as well. So that will fill them with a lot of confidence going into the rest of this session.
Definitely. Hidder just invalidated his lap as Frankie goes on provisional pole on a 1:16.214. So even quicker than Mika's very quick time indeed. Hopefully we might even get to see a 1:15. Just watching with Pedro for LFR in this very similar to a Gulf colour scheme that we're driving here, which is always fun to see on track.
Yeah, it's a very, very nice little livery they've got going, and he's gonna go fastest. There we go, the first time into the 15s, and it's a 15.9. So maybe I was a bit too fast saying with the low 16s, because it's definitely going to be in the 15s now. So
Yeah,
that's a very good time on the softs, but
yeah, looks like a good day out there in Spain. Are we expecting dry conditions, or do you not yet know the weather forecast?
Oh, I haven't had anything from the team, so I don't know. If anyone can comment down below what the weather forecast is coming up, that will be a good help.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd really like to see what the weather forecast is looking like. Snell, just riding with Snell, Lesty, so we can get inside team view on what the driver is expecting and how he's handling the car at the moment. Heading down the back straight down towards turn 10.
He is indeed. He's switched over to pads for this one. He's recently got a wheel, but we know how important this is. An important race for us at CPI. Sitting in 4th place, we really need a strong result here. So he's switched back to the pad just for this one race, and we're hoping it's going to pay off as he comes round the final corner. I think it's going to be in the 16s. It is. It's a 16.4, and he goes 5th place. That's not too bad from Snell.
No, a nice place to get a banker lap in, something to build on with the comfort of knowing you've got a decent time in the bank. Who else is actually running right now? TFL's Janssen has invalidated and is heading on around the track. Might go for another run, but it's not happened for him this time out. ML, who I'm struggling. I don't recognise him as an NLR driver, but possibly he is. We are an NLR. No, we've got everybody represented, so I'm pretty sure he is an NLR driver. Just a new one on me, as he gets a purple first sector on his first attempt. Apologies for the stream. If it does become too much of an issue, we can head back out to using direct from PlayStation streaming. I did notice some difficulty with connection, and the connection plays absolute hell with my PC lag restreaming. So we'll see how it goes, guys, through quali, and if it's still bad, we'll revert to try it on the PlayStation, and we'll just have to restart the stream that way for the race. But ML just finishing off the final corner then, racing for the line, and it's a 16.553, so right in the middle of the pack at the moment. P9, yeah, lots of drivers coming out of the pits. Just Janssen, Hidder, Gerofyu, of course, who has finished his session completely, so he won't qualify above last position. Mr. PT though, Lesty on a lap at the moment, staying within track limits.
Yeah, it seems to be the one problem for Mr. VT. He does really have a good argument with the track limits. So he's looking, yeah, he's just kept it in there. So he is going to complete this lap. It's going to be a 16.5. So he's just shy of a 10th off his teammate Snell. He will take that as his first time lap, but I'm sure he knows there's a bit more he can get out of that car.
That Hidder is on a lap as well, another CPI driver. I've also got, I think, Lucas for LFR running, but Hidder heading through sector 1, difficult turn 3. Just about timing throttle.
I've just seen that pole lap by Yagazan. That is one hell of a lap.
Yes.
That is a big lap.
Absolutely, yeah. Bit of a shocker there for everybody to just to demoralise everyone. I think rather than miss the poll, Leslie, I think I'm going to have to switch the stream over to PlayStation. Hope that that will give us a slightly smoother, if a little rough around the edges or blocky stream. So what I'm going to do is just start a
Yeah.
party with Leslie. I'm going to log in on the PlayStation and get us going as quick as possible. So just keep an eye on the YouTube channel for Crown E League. Head back if it's going to arrive there, and I'll be back with you very, very shortly. My apologies for this one. Okay. Gotta log in. So I'll just be a second.
Yeah, that's strange. Right, can you hear me?
That's brilliant stuff. So Davey then going through sector 1, we'll get an idea of how that is as he approaches turn 4. How's that one? It's just over, it's 0.059 slower than he's been before. It seems, Leslie, that our choice is through the PC with the odd frame dropout, or through the PlayStation with long pauses between action. Davey invalidates, so that's not going anywhere. Helm then is currently third. He's 0.004 of a second away from his best time. And let's see if he can close this lap out and jump Davey and possibly challenge Mika. He's going to need a monster of a final sector if he's going to do it. My apologies if you suffer from motion sickness. It's very difficult to watch with the connection issue we've got going on here tonight. But Helm to the line then, and it's 9 thousandths faster and not enough to jump Davey or Mika in the standings. Mika is on a slowdown lap, so not going to do any better. Janssen then, Janssen on his lap, similarly cooling down. What about Abzi? He's invalidated. I think we might have our grid order, and hopefully we can make a choice then between streams, Leslie. By the look of what I'm looking at on my devices, it seems like a clearer image is coming through from the PC original stream, and we're getting quite blocky and long cycling paused screens on the PlayStation, which I think the PlayStation stream is almost unreadable from what I can see. So I think we might have to live with slightly jolty footage through the PC. Leslie, if you agree, I'll get you back on that call. So Mika taking pole from Davey, Helm, Yagizan, Frankie. I've got another Davey for DRA in 6th, then A Costa for LFR, Janssen, Razorback, Luca, Abzi, Pedro, Mr. BT, Snell, Hida, Felix 1, Emil, Bo, Jalma, and Geroff U. All of our drivers then, all 20, ready to take the track. So just give me 1 second while I switch back to the stream and the call with Leslie. Just a moment. Okay, so hopefully we will have Lesty back on the PC audio, and we'll try and get him to say hello now. Hi, Lesty.
Right. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, and I can see your voice coming through on the pictures. So, had a little review there of the standings just while we organised everything back into place. But yes, we're going to stay on this one. Unfortunately, we have made some adjustments as far as possible and done some testing. But this is the best that we can do for you tonight, I'm afraid, guys, in terms of footage. So please forgive us. It does look to be a PSN issue as much as anything. Mika takes pole from Davey and Halm, then Yagizan, Frankie, Davey for DRA, Acosta, Janssen, Razorback, and Lucas are top 10. We've got tyre choices, Lesty. Fairly predictable, just maybe two standouts there.
Yeah, two standouts got to be Pedro going for softs outside the top 10. That's a very interesting choice. And Giroffi's looking to go long on the hard tyre. So, I mean, he'll lack pace, but he'll get far and he'll be able to go on the softs at the end quite easily. But yeah, those are the two interesting parts, but no shocks that everyone else is on mediums outside the top 10.
Definitely. I mean, Gerofew has nothing to lose, as it were, when it comes to track position by starting on the hards and taking his time to get them switched on, presumably trying to stay out of trouble in that first couple of laps. And yeah, it's going to be difficult to get the tyres switched on. He's going to be all over the road on this warm-up lap trying to get himself together and get any kind of temperature generated. So hopefully he will be up and running and able to make the best of that strategy. Looks like TFL very much on top. We've got LFR in third, DRA showing fifth and sixth. But while NLR have significantly more points than the other third place team in the other group, Lesty, they're going to have to get the job done today as well to make sure that they qualify.
Yeah, definitely. They're in. Yeah, if they're looking for that third place, best points finish against the other groups, they're looking good. But at the moment, all drivers are starting outside the top 10, so they'll hope for better luck in the race than they've had in qualifying. But I'm sure we'll see a few of them get through the field.
Yeah, CPI very much in the middle. And yeah, DRA somewhat spread out, but TFL all over this one so far. But will it prove to be true in race trim as it was in qualifying? We're about to find out. We've got 5 lights on, and it's lights out, and away we go with the front two getting away pretty comfortably. A little bit of action going on as they're jostling down for speed. I saw an LFR car on the grass temporarily, but the front two leading and cooperating at least through the first few corners, blocking off the other cars who are behind them, with Halm consolidating that third place. Mr. BT has retired from the session immediately and is out on the entry to turn 3 right now. Bad news for CPI.
That was a massive crash. The car was up in the air. I saw an LFR driver, I think he went round, and then it was just a chain of events. The VSC is out, and yes, that is a big blow for CPI down to the 3 cars. And who's that? That's Absi, who has managed to spin it under the VSC as well. So he's dropped right back. But LFR and CPI, not great starts there for both teams.
No, absolutely. LFR dropping down. Some of the NLR boys have moved up already. So they've moved up 5 places for Gerofew, 4 for Felix 1, 7 for Emil. And we're back under green flag racing, so enough about all of that. Let's get back up and see what's happening at the front, because half a second separates most of the front runners from first in turn all the way down to P7. And lap 2 is underway with TFL's Davey getting the first of the fastest laps, of course, as the pole sitter. We've got Halm just trying to stay with Davey and Mika, the TFL pairing, who obviously are making their their way to try and extend this lead as much as possible. Got a couple of penalties already, and 3 of the soft runners have fallen back, so making life a little bit easier for Gerard Beu on his hard tyres here in the first stage. But hopefully we're about to see some action. I think Hidde is launching one here into turn 5, and they'll keep going nice and close together as they then reach the next overtaking zone into turn 10. Just having to back out of the move a little bit there, Lesty.
Yeah, it was a bit of a half-hearted move there. I'm not sure if he was fully going to be able to get that position, but he's gone for it. It hasn't worked out, and he'll carry on and look to try and make that move further down the road. TFL are going strong. As I saw Yagazan at the start, he had a poor getaway, lost a couple of places, but TFL still looking strong. 1, 2, 5 and 7 at the moment. As Enea Farjan takes the fastest lap, I'm sure we'll see a lot of fastest laps get beaten throughout this race.
Yeah, definitely. The car's still fat with fuel, and the soft runners now starting to need to be a little bit careful on those tyres. Try and keep the tyres alive as far as possible. Halm is really closing in on second place here. And like I mentioned before, apologies for the cars jumping around and the pausing on screen occasionally as well. It's we're riddled with network issues today, unfortunately. I'll try and stay with Mika, whose drive is a little bit smoother than Halm's, but Halm is definitely staying with him. 0.3 of a second back, and not letting the TFR boys get away with this one. We've got Frankie trying to hold off the attentions of Yagazan. We know the kind of pace Yagazan's got already, Lesty, this evening.
Yeah, definitely the race winner from last week. He's got some great pace under that car, so Frankie will be disappointed to already be out of the DRS to the top 3, and that's going to make life even harder to keep that green and blue car behind, as I think an LFR at the back has had a bit of a spin. But no, yeah, Frankie's going to have a job to do. Yagazan is going for the move on the outside down the straight. That's nice and easy with the DRS, and he'll look to join his 2 teammates up the front and give support against Run.
Yeah, so if there's an engineer for LFR right now, I think the instruction to Halm is get on with it, because you're going to have Yagazan right up behind you very soon. The problem Yalm has got, of course, as DRS was enabled, is that the car in front is close enough to the one in front of him to hold on to that DRS. So that advantage somewhat nullified. It's going to take very careful management of ERS here, Lesty, to try and get this move done.
Yeah, he's going to need to be careful with how much he's using, because if he's going for the move, he needs to make it count, because if he uses loads up, Yagazan is only a couple of attempts away, not even, yeah, just a couple of attempts away from getting into the DRS now, so he's got to be really careful with how he uses his ERS here.
Yeah. If you're sitting there in an engineer's seat for Halm, what are you saying here? Spend it all on the way out of the final corner for the best possible chance?
I think you've got to say it's early doors. It's only lap 5. Don't do anything stupid.
Challenge from Mika gets past
2
Davey.
TFL boys switch places.
Little bit of cooperation. I think Davey was a little surprised by that one. He's certainly on the defensive now from Halm. So he's got to switch from not really needing to defend to really watching those mirrors now that Halm is on it, and hopefully the boys are going to give each other enough space on track, because with the connection problems we've got tonight, anything can happen with the cars jolting around on the track.
Yeah, let's hope there's no cars flying around into one another. But
looks like we've got a problem
so far,
for Janssen, Lesty. Janssen disappearing down the order. I don't know if you can see anything that's going on with him at the moment, but yeah, falling back.
Oh, he's really struggling. I can't see if he's got damage. His car just looks like it's got no grip. Not sure what's going on there, but that's a big big drop down in positions.
Davey struggling for pace. I wonder if that move at the front of the order, he closes right in with DRS, but he was slipping back away from Mika. So that DRS really helping him stay not only in touch with the lead, but also stay within DRS, which is his chief defensive weapon right now against the attentions of Halm. Yaguzan hasn't closed in much further either, so obviously his pace isn't sufficient to overcome that DRS factor for Halm in front. Frankie and DRA's Davey obviously doing pretty well here in 5th and 6th. Frankie trying not to let Yaguzan get away from him, and the CPI triplet cut of Hidder, Snell and Razorback 7th, 8th and 9th. None of the NLR boys currently in the top 10.
No, not any of them in the top 10 yet, but obviously Girofhu is on completely different strategy to anyone else here, so he's got to be patient, and the rest of them, I'm sure they'll just slowly pick their way through. I don't think it's panic stations for NLR. I think they've got plenty of pace in those cars, and they just got to keep getting those consistent laps on the board.
Yeah, very, very smart indeed. I think Halm might be tempted here. He just can't get on terms, but patience appears to be the key, as it looks like Davey getting too much on that entry curb, the apex curb of turn 2, left the car fishtailing somewhat as he approached turn 3. I think he was pretty glad that the next turn was in the opposite direction, because he already had opposite lock on, Lesty.
Yeah, he's struggling, and he's lucky to still be holding on to that P2 at the moment.
Is this what we'd expect in terms of tyre wear? Are we expecting the softs to start fading already on lap 6?
I think so. The softs do not last very long round here, but if you're trying the one stop, you really do need to make them last, and these three at the front will be pushing these tyres hard, so they won't be looking too pretty as we approach the 8th lap of the Spanish Grand Prix.
Yeah, so on the end of lap 7, Mika, the soft runners clearly in charge at the moment, although Razorback dropping back behind his CPI colleagues on the soft tyre hit there against the medium runners. Looks like Halm is going for it. He's already up the inside. He's got the DRS, and I think Davey lost out that DRS to Mika at a very crucial point here. So Halm getting up to 2nd place for LFR. I'm sure his team will be very pleased with that one. And he just needs to consolidate that now, and perhaps wait for the round of pit stops, which we're expecting relatively soon. Mika from Halm and Davey, then Yaguzan, Frankie, DRA's Davey, and then the CPI group, Snell, Hidder, Razorback, and a bit of a gap then to Felix One, Girofhu, who are on for NLR in 10th and 11th. We've got Hjalmar and Bo, then Emil, Abzi, Lucas, Acosta, Janssen and Pedro. Unfortunately, we lost Mr. BT early doors, so CPI fighting with just 3 cars at this stage of the race. 3-second penalty for Emil.
Now actually looking at Davey.
Is he? Let's have a look. Yeah, very close.
Davey's really dropped off. He's really dropped off of his teammate Frankie, and he's now got the 3 CPI drivers all lining up behind him. So
yeah.
Oh, as we got some pit stops.
We have. Mika says no to a pit opportunity. Davey for DRA goes in. Davey for TFL is in as well. And everybody else moving up the order. So CPI on medium tyres, Snell and Hidder in 2nd and 3rd place. Then Felix One in 4th, Girofhu in 5th on the hard tyres, possibly on the best strategic option as he then overtakes his teammate Felix One as well. So on hard tyres, and be looking to try and get to the latter quarter of the race at least before he can put softs on, but in a good position right now, as are CPI suddenly.
Yeah, it's looking good so far. Obviously, they've still got to make their pit stops, so I'm not getting too excited just yet. Keeping the excitement down for now. A long way to go in this race. Anything can happen. So as long as the laps are coming in consistent, they're working together well, it should look for a promising result.
Yeah, certainly everybody moving up the order now. It all depends really where these soft runners are going to come out relative to each other. Halm is in front of Lucas. Davies dropped behind him, and in fact just overtakes him there, just as I was reading out the results. So a little bit of action going on as Lucas has spun. I think he was pushed into it. I think some fairly opportunistic moves going on with the hard tyre shot. Davey on Lucas. I didn't get to see enough of the incident to really report on it, but yeah, struggling there a little bit. So Lucas dropping down. I think he'll be heading into the pits shortly, as now Mika in the pits, and he comes out of the pits all very close relative to Halm, although Halm now has got much warmer tyres and should have an advantage for about half a lap here, Lesty.
He should do, yeah. He's timed that well, Mika, so he's come out in front, but will he stay in front? He currently doesn't have the DRS. He's a few seconds off Absi ahead, so the home straight, he might be under a bit of pressure from that LFR car. I did also notice CPI Razorback, the only one of the soft runners to pit and go onto the medium tyre, so dangerous strategy there, but it could pay off.
Yep. Who's engineering tonight for CPI?
I don't think we have anyone. It's probably Mr. BT right now. Driver con engineer.
Yeah, absolutely. Razorback then, yeah, possibly ending up on a two-stop strategy. I don't know if the mediums will get 22 laps out of them, but yeah, an interesting approach. Of course, that could work out well. He'll have good speed, so caution period could complicate things, but a challenge for the lead going on is exactly as you predicted, Lesty. Halm breezing past and taking the lead for LFR, the net lead, I guess, down there on the drivers who have in fact stopped. But yeah, good move from Halm and showing good pace, having got those hards up to temperature. He managed to do an undercut, but he didn't manage the undercut, but he managed to get those tyres probably in better condition and taking the lead past TFL.
Yeah, he's done well there. He's obviously going to be under attack. He's got 3 TFL cars right behind him, and he's the one hope for LFR here at the moment, as the other 3 sit respectively at the back of the field. They'll be hoping for a safety car because they need to get those drivers back in, because you want that automatic spot.
Yeah,
you're gonna need all the points you can get, and it's so close between LFR, NLR, and TFL. So every point is going to matter tonight.
absolutely. Lap 12, they're ticking by. We are into the second third of our race, so it's time to start putting the hammer down. It looks like Halm has pulled out a nice 0.7 of a second gap. Is it sufficient? It doesn't look to be sufficient. Mika is screaming up towards the back of him. Will he be close enough under braking? He gets very close indeed, but it looks like 0.7 is perhaps 1/10 too much, Lesty, in order to make a move coming out of the final corner.
Yeah, just not close enough there for Mika. He'll be confident though. He'll be confident that he can get that position back, I'm sure.
Lots of action going on just ahead of these guys with, it looks like Hjalmar on Felix 1, and then Emil just behind and Bo behind him. So we've got a DRA NLR party happening on track as they head towards turn 10. Everyone just sort of piling on the pressure here and trying to push another driver into a mistake. It's very, very technical, tricky circuit. Not many good overtaking opportunities, but plenty of places to make an error or to trip over those difficult track limit standards.
Yeah, that's it. There's not many opportunities for overtakes, but you just got to put the driver ahead under as much pressure as possible and just hope for a mistake, which we've seen a few already. As there's a bit of action now with this DRA and NLR party.
Absolutely. It looks like Hjalmar was almost boxed in, but he just about got the better of Felix 1 there. Will he come back at him? He's got the inside line. The The driver inside the cockpit is waving his hand at Gerov Yu, although I don't think he's going to be watching or caring particularly about gesticulation going on in the cockpit. Hjalmar just about managing to get that move done, and he did that while the driver in front, who was Felix One, had DRS on the back of Gerov Yu. So one of the first double DRS kind of moves that we've seen tonight. So it can be done. Hjalmar showing the way. So he's now fourth with Gerov Yu ahead in third. CPI 3 seconds up the road here, although Hidde has got an 11-second penalty already. That's going to make life rather difficult later on. Hjalmar making a slight mistake through turn 12, going wide. Felix One right on the gearbox now, and Hjalmar just courting with the problem of losing DRS from the car in front. In fact, he has lost DRS from the car in front, so should be an easy one here for Felix One to retaliate. Takes to the inside. Hjalmar not really fighting this one, or weaving particularly, and I think he knew his goose was cooked there, Lesty.
Yeah, as soon as you realised he didn't have DRS, he was pretty much a sitting duck on that straight. So Felix making the move and up into fourth place.
So further back with our stopped drivers, the ones who have pitted already, we've got Mika still in. Mika's actually overtaken Halm. While we were watching that little exchange up ahead on track, we've got Mika having resumed past Halm, so it's struggling there a little bit. I wonder if there was an error crept in, or it's just the DRS factor. So Mika, Halm, Davey and Yagizan. Frankie's not really with this group, he's 5 seconds back, and the field really starting to spread out, and that's going to open up the strategies pretty soon there, Lesty. 13 laps on the medium. At what point will these tyres start to run out?
Oh, not too sure really. I mean, Snell and Hidde are going pretty well at the front, but oh, here we go. We've got some medium pits now with Felix and Yu. So they may not be holding on for much longer.
No, they've decided that it's lap 15 is the point. Well, the point where lap 14 becomes lap 15 is the time to pit. Razorback moving up the order a little bit. Now in P11 on relatively fresh mediums, but we think possibly, if 15 laps is the max the drivers can get out of these mediums, then he's almost certainly on a two-stop strategy. So we'll see how it all works out. Gerov Yu, currently the highest placed hard runner, who will need to stop again. And that is true of Hidde, Snell, himself, Gerov Yu, Hjalmar and Abzi, front five. Then Mika, Halm, Davey, Yagizan, Frankie, the top 10 at this point, but we get points all the way through the field, Lesty, so always something to fight for.
Yeah, every position gets you points, so every place means an extra point or two, or even more if you're in the top few places. So, and fastest lap, you get another point there as well, so plenty of points up for grabs. You've just got, no matter how bad it gets, you just got to keep going. And if safety car comes, you have the opportunity to get more points. If not, you just bring home the points for your team.
Yeah, so it looks like, is that a medium to hard option strategy going on there for Hjalmar and for most of the rest of the drivers? He comes out just behind Razorback. No, he comes out, yes, just behind Razorback, and we've got a safety car, Lesty. Did you happen to see what happened, or who is involved? It looks like Emil, possibly?
Emil, yeah, I didn't see what happened, but from where his car is, he possibly has just lost it on the exit curb, and his car's flung to the right and whacked the wall.
Yep.
And that is a retirement for Emil, unfortunately. And safety car, this really does mix things up. LFR guys are back in this now, and we're going to see some strategy changes. I'm sure most people will probably go onto the mediums here.
Yeah, it looks like the mediums should go to the end. Even those drivers who are on relatively fresh hards, you still think they would go for the mediums at this point?
I think so. I would personally, but I'm not one of the esports drivers, so I'll leave that decision up to them.
Well, the front three have definitely pitted, so Gerolf Yu has made it up to the third place, and if everyone else pits behind him, he'll be in a good position. No, Halm has decided to stay out. Mika has come in, so Halm electing to take track position. Thank you very much, and get on by everybody. Now it's a bit randomised as to who might have to double stack. I think everybody manages to single stack, thanks to the custom livery car pit box arrangement. It's a little bit awkward, but yeah, front group are all in. We've got fresh mediums on virtually the whole field. Abzi has gone on to softs. I'm confused, Lesty. Can you explain that one or not?
I reckon that's a mistake there. Unless he just didn't want to touch the hards, but that's another pit stop for Abzi. Unless he pits again under the safety car, he'll lose positions, of course, but those softs are nowhere near going to make it to the end.
No, it could be a little bit of a Jeff communication issue. I know I've seen that in the past, just forgetting or not realising that your next tyre was selected to be soft, and just in the dash to get into the pits, it's difficult to navigate the MFD, especially if you're on a wheel. It can be very difficult indeed.
Definitely. And I've seen NLR Giraffe who's actually jumped Iddy in the pits there, so maybe there was a double stack that happened somewhere. Yeah. Giraffe who's managed to get himself up to third, and that hard start strategy has really worked out for him now.
I tell you what I suspect it was. Hidder had 11 seconds of penalties. I think he had to serve a 5-second penalty in the pits, so I don't think it was a stacking issue. I think it was just serving that penalty. He's now 6 seconds he's got owing. But yeah, Gerolf Yu definitely in a good position at this point. Third place, but LFR Snell, Gerolf Yu, it's LFR CPI NLR, followed by 2 CPI drivers. Completely turn around from qualifying where we saw TFL very much on the offensive. We've got another CPI driver in the pits right now. It's Razorback. He's gone in. So he's going to go to the back of the field, or near enough the back of the field, while we wait for the whole of the field to catch up at the back of the safety car.
Yeah, those mediums that he was on was not going to make it. Like we were saying, he was going to have to pit again. So I was a bit confused why he didn't pit before, but maybe there was some other reason to that. But he's now on the mediums, dropped back to 17th, but he'll see what he can do from that position. But Abzi's still up there on the softs. Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you split your strategy quite so dramatically, you do definitely guarantee that one of you's on the right strategy, come what may. But perhaps the soft tyre is not the best option here. We'll see. He could get past these hard runners and streak off into the lead, but yeah, it's not looking good at the moment to be on the softs. So as I say, TFL currently 8th, 10th, 11th, 14th, and they will be definitely interesting to watch them come through the field. They're all on fresh mediums, so slightly better position, especially than Halm ahead. But of course, the field will start to spread out, and the job becomes quite difficult to catch him. Now, everyone should be pitted to the end, apart maybe from Abzi. We're about to get underway, Lesty, and let's see who gets the best drive out of this one. I'll perhaps ride with Abzi and see how the car's performing.
Yeah, sure. No, I think it'll be interesting to see. TFL, obviously, they were looking to have a really good result here. Now they've got to put in some work to get back to the front of this field. So let's see what happens for the remaining 15 laps of this race.
Yeah, should have a bit of a showstopper. Now the whole field has condensed. We should get some team tactics going on. Halm has not yet gone. All the drivers expecting him to blast out of the final corner. He goes now, and looks like Gerolf Yu with a good drive. Hidder also, and we ride with Abzi, who should have good stopping power on the way down into the first corner. It looks like Gerolf Yu ran the outside of the CPI driver Snell, getting the job done immediately. So CPI now 3rd and 4th and fighting amongst each other, as Abzi looking to capitalise, getting very close up behind Snell here. Would he be able to make a move? Not quite. They go side by side, Felix 1 and Mika heading into turn 3. Yeah, they're still fighting that one, Felix 1 and Mika. Felix 1 on the outside, Mika on the inside, and getting it done just about. Felix 1 holding on. He knows the next turn is going to be a right-hander. Sorry, a left-hander here. Right-hander to come, and Mika drives completely over the racing line and says, that's my line, my position. You don't get that one so easily. So Hjalmar now defending from TFR around the outside. Mika having a storming run here, having really got those tyres up to temperature. And yeah, some of these hard runners, Leslie, struggling on this restart lap.
Yeah, maybe the temps weren't up on those hards, but Mika's absolutely flying, already onto the back of Snell, who's clearly struggled after that restart. But this is good for TFL. They're fighting with the DRA drivers now, Frankie and Hjalmar.
Yeah, Frankie and Hjalmar were just fighting with each other, and yeah, it looks like they're going to get absolutely swamped. Felix 1 running outside, Davey through the middle, and will they get this one safely through turn 2? I think just about organising themselves, but that got frantic very quickly.
Wow, it's a very frantic view. Oh, Lucas has just sneaked up the inside of Bio and Felix 1. And there goes Acosta as well. The LFR boys are not hanging around.
No, definitely not. However, Gerofio on the mediums is really not letting Helm get away. Helm trying his best to do this, but he can't quite get there. So we'll see if Hidde is going to get in the mix. Abzi closing in as well. I think we're on for an absolute showstopper at the end of this race, Leslie.
We are. It's honestly kicking off all the way down the grid. Everyone is so close to go. I don't know who to watch it.
No, it really
is crazy.
Everyone is
on everyone.
Abzi in 4th place, obviously on those soft tyres, not quite making the progress he'd hoped. He's only got 1 place, and he's got Mika coming up behind him quite quickly. Mika with the fastest lap of 118.101 as the slipstreaming going on further down the midfield yet again. It looks like Frankie challenging Snell, Davey waiting to see if they trip over each other. And yeah, as Leslie was saying, it's just action all the way up and down the field. Everyone within a second of each other. Is impossible to find the next moment. I can see Bo and Acosta going side by side through turn 4. It's dangerous out there. And a big lunge from Bo up into the hairpin. I think Razorback has got an idea of getting past Felix 1. Just about does it as well, and Felix 1 gets a slam in the back from Pedro. We've got a DRA car off the road, as was Acosta. It's Hjalmar who's dropping all the way down, and he's retired. And we go for our second full safety car. And I say, just things happening everywhere. You'd think it was a 5-lapper at this point.
Yeah, that was mental. It kind of got to a point where you thought, where's this contact going to come from? Because there were people fighting all over the place, and then other cars would join in, and it would just become a scrap between 3 or 4 cars, and it's just mental. But I think everyone there on the hards were really, really struggling. The medium tyre cars were just swamping all the hard tyre runners.
Yeah, lots of hard runners coming in right now. You're exactly right. Everyone choosing those mediums. Hidde has gone on to softs, so we'll be struggling to get probably 9 laps out of them, but it's much more achievable than Abzi's target. I mean, Abzi might be a tyre-saving wonder. Who knows? We'll wait and see. The safety car period will definitely help him, though, Leslie.
Yeah, definitely. You can take it nice and easy now to stay off those curbs. We'll have to see once he gets to the end of this race, because these medium runners are absolutely flying. I'm a bit speechless, to be honest. I was struggling to just follow anyone. It was just happening everywhere.
Definitely. Helm has refused a pit stop as well. He's got the most to lose from anybody. Of course, would wind up right at the back, so perhaps his best option here is to double down on this hard strategy. He's going to be pretty much alone. Only Bo for DRA and P8 has stayed on the hard tyres. So he's also burning some fuel off right now, how I can see on board. Just getting prepared for the restart. We will have, hopefully, in the region of 9 laps to 9 racing laps to go. I'm not quite sure we'll get there. I think we might just manage to get a safety car in this lap notification, will we? The lights are still flashing. Fingers crossed, everyone. It can be called very late in the Spanish Grand Prix, but I don't think it's going to be. I think the rear of the field just hadn't caught up just in time, so we go around again, unfortunately. So you can see why everybody is fighting so very hard. I'll just flash up the standings once again. You can see there 194 LFR, 190 TFE Sports, and 186 NLR. I have no idea, unfortunately, how Group 2 are doing, but it did look like the top 3 from this group were likely to be the ones that qualify. But there's no real advantage, Lesty, for qualifying highest. I understand the points get reset in the finals.
Yeah, no advantage. Top 2 just get that automatic through. If you're going for that 3rd spot, it's just all depends on how the other team in the other group do in their 3rd place. So just top 2, you're just making sure you guarantee you get into that finals, where we'll see another 4 races and the 5 best teams of the competition go for it, which I'm looking forward to.
Definitely.
It's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, we're going to have a great run through the month of, well, most of February at least, for that one. But yeah, the first round of the finals is next week, am I right?
I believe so, from what my memory serves me. I believe that. Oh, Yagizan. Oh dear, Yagizan's had a bit of a spin there.
He's struggling when we're not under green flag conditions today, isn't he, Yagizan? He was so quick in qualifying, right on the pace. I think the safety car will almost certainly be in this lap, regardless of what happens with Yagizan. Yeah, the lights are out, so we're about to be underway, but Yagizan, with it all to do from the very back of the field in P17. Sadly, we've lost to Jalmar, ML and Mr. BT, but we still have 17 runners with hopefully 9 quick laps to go. Hopefully not too few laps to end up with people doing bonsai moves. You can see how tight it is at the front of the field, and that's why everyone's fighting. It's team honours and it's bragging rights in the leagues. Halmnen, he was late on the power on the previous restart, I think, and he's doing the same again. There he goes now, halfway down the pit boxes, and it's Abzi with a good launch, but not quite as good as Frankie, who's challenging Mika here for P4. He's got the inside line, should be his corner. You fancy Frankie slightly ahead as they go into turn 3, and then of course they'll switch back into turn to the right for the next turn, and he manages to consolidate that one. Very good driving, getting past Frankie at this point, getting past Mika, sorry, at this point on equal tyres as well. Really good restart launch. I think everyone else running relatively safely at this point. Abzi still perhaps being pretty patient on those soft tyres. He's trying to get them to the end, but I can see 3 or 4 wide going on in the background, down in the midfield at the moment. I can't quite make out who's leading who, but Davey behind Mika. Let's see if I can see further down in the order. I think it was right in the middle of the standings there. Lucas Janssen, Snell, Razorback, all kind of involved in jostling for position. A Costa is behind Davey very closely. Looks like we're going to have a very close run into the flag.
Yeah, I was on board with that incident back there. It was Bo, who was caught in between 2 CPI drivers going into that quick left-right, and it just wasn't going to work.
Driver's still waiting on DRS, still hasn't been enabled after the safety car restart. Of course, when we have a VSC, it's instant enabling of the DRS, but we do wait 2 laps for it to happen after a safety car, so it just keeps that field really close together and just makes sure that everybody has the opportunity to keep fighting in another lap's time, I think. Anybody sticking out for you at the moment as a surprise or a particular disappointment, Lesty?
I mean, the fortune hasn't gone Yagazan's way with the safety car. Obviously, that screwed TFL over a little bit. But he's made a couple of mistakes since then, and running down in P15, not where I'd see him running coming up to the end of this race. So I think that's one. And I'm still surprised with Abzi at the moment. If he makes it to the end and he gets this podium, I know he's got a long way to go still, but if he gets it, it's a great drive.
Definitely. Gerolf Yu with an 18th place climb at this stage, and he's managed to contrive to be on roughly similar tyres to those around him, apart from Halm in front. So he'll just be hoping to stick around behind Halm and see how soon his tyres drop off. Although I think they'll be at a fairly similar wear rate to Gerolf Yu's mediums towards the end of the race. So maybe just biding his time. Can't afford to let the car behind Abzi get too close, although of course as a rear gunner he's got, maybe he'd rather Abzi got ahead of him, Lesty, and had an attack on the car ahead.
Yeah, maybe, but I'm not sure what state those softs will be in. It's hard to tell, but he's struggling, Abzi, to now stay within DRS. He's on the cusp. He really needs that, otherwise I think he'll get swallowed up by Frankie, Mika and Davey, all following behind. I think he's going to get it though.
Great to have so many LFR teammates joining us in the chat. I haven't really done my normal shout outs to everybody, but thanks to everyone for indicating your support and joining us tonight. I hope you're enjoying it as far as possible with these technical issues that we've got, but the racing is fantastic. The drivers so close to one another. Performance level is off the charts, frankly, Lesty, in this group. Really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been really good. Really enjoyed seeing these teams go up against each other. There's hardly anything between them. It's tight, and we still got 7 laps to go. There can still be more drama in this race. So just keep watching, keep liking, keep commenting. Let us know.
That's what we want to see, definitely.
Who's going to win this one? It's why I'm going to hold on.
If your colleagues or friends are racing, share it on socials and get them in on the last few laps, because I think we've got the calm before the storm right now. Everybody very close to one another, everybody within DRS. Gerolf Yu just dropping back slightly from Halm, so Halm might have this, you know. He might be able to hold on to those hard tyres, which would be quite heroic. We see Frankie struggling on the mediums already on the way out of the final corner. That's going to help Abzi breathe a little bit easier. Everybody, of course, in the train getting DRS. So Gerolf Yu closing. Bo has retired. Bo for DRA. That means 2 DRA drivers retired from the session. And he's he's stranded. We've gone to another safety car with 5 to go.
I don't believe it. The 3rd safety car.
Absolutely shocking. I'm not quite sure what happened, but we'll try and get a visual on it. No, unfortunately, the car's been dealt with by the marshals. It was the exit of turn 5 Sayat corner, a little hairpin there, but it was quite a way out of it, so it looks like someone losing the car under traction. I don't know. Obviously, I wasn't watching his car, so I can't tell you whether there was an incident. Halm is absolutely burning off this fuel, trying to lighten the car, trying to ease the load on these old tyres, and I bet he can't believe his bad luck. He's doing everything right, but he just keeps getting that gap reset back behind him.
Yeah, it's going to be his 3rd safety car restart for Halm, and yeah, he had Giroffu just out of the DRS there, so this is going to be very, very frustrating for him. And we're just going to see a manic end to what has been a bit of a mental race.
No, he's not. He's seen a long way back from his teammate. I wonder if he was trying to get the field away from him, but no, he's gone on. He's going to try and get these tyres through. He's had 2 safety cars on periods on them, but they're still going to be in a very difficult state. We've got some pit stops happening at the tail of the field, where you would expect people to start gambling, potentially. Halm has picked up a 5-second penalty there, Leslie. I didn't see what that was for.
I think that was on an earlier safety car. I think there might have been a little bit of contact with him and Snell. I'm sure, as it's not been served, I'm sure it will be sent to the stewards. So,
right. So he's gonna be discouraged from a pit stop, whatever. If that's the case, because if he serves it, there's nothing we can do. Luke Lira 14 in the chat says he's going to have a heart attack. It's very tight here. We'll see. Hopefully, a little bit of calm under the safety car will help you, but I can't make any promises with a potential 3-lap sprint at the end of this race.
Yeah, I think we're all going to have a bit of a heart attack here, especially with the end of this race. There's going to be some moves.
There definitely are. Halm is out there on the oldest hard tyres. No one else really pitting apart from the guys right at the foot of the field. The field fairly well spread at the moment. NLR really holding on after qualifying, as you pointed out, Leslie, all outside of the top 10. They're currently 2nd, 3rd and 15th. But race has definitely turned around from, we go through again. Bernd Mailander really getting his money's worth today, and he's decided he wants another lap in the lead of this race.
Must be paid per lap for the safety car.
Absolutely. It's crazy stuff. I really thought we'd be underway.
No, I think NLR will be this will be the difference whether they make it through or not. If Giroffi and Abzi can stay high up there, and at the moment CPI only sitting 8th, 11th and 13th, which I just don't think is going to be enough. So I think NLR, if they can just stay up, the two drivers, if they stay up there, I think they will be going through at least in that 3rd, possibly 2nd position.
Yeah, and scoring big enough, I would have to suspect to make it regardless of what happens in Group 1. There's a little bit of a mountain to climb for the 3rd place team in Group 1, but we'll have to see. I'm sure, Leslie, we've got steward decisions to come as well, and things that might complicate the issue. But you'll be tweeting about the qualification and the final standings and everything in the midweek, presumably at some point.
Yeah, we'll aim to get these done as quick as possible, because as you said earlier, I think the finals get underway this time next week, so we'll get those done and we'll get the 5 teams confirmed as quickly as we can.
Okay, well, we are about to be underway. Confirmed, we will get hopefully 3 laps remaining. If they can complete the first one, we should then get the rest of them regardless of what happens on track. Abzi, 3rd place here, behind Geroffi and Halm. An absolute mix of tyre strategies in the podium positions at the moment. Frankie will hope to hold on to 4th pre the penalty, and Mika and Davey, well, we saw how they decided to race after the last one. Halm making everybody guess. A little bit of contact going on further back in the grid, and he really kept everybody guessing, and I think he had his 3rd opportunity to go for it, but it was perhaps the worst restart we've seen. Mika trying to go around the outside, caught on the dirty side of the track, and Frankie defends very cleanly and very well to resist the efforts of Frankie to get by. Frankie resisting Mika. Davey for TFR struggling around here with Snell, who is now getting overtaken by Davies for DRA into turn 5, and the Davies are together on track just to add further confusion. We should have a ban on the same names going on. It's very, very difficult. But at the moment, Frankie's actually more on the attack than the defence, and he's looking to try and make a move on Abzi, who's got those soft tyres, the really old soft tyres, who are going to be flirting with punctures here tonight. Oh, we've got a CPI car round it. Snell round in turn 12. Always a difficult place to get the car through safely. But yeah, turn round, and I think heading towards the foot of the field, stranded as he is, right down there. I think he'll try and get out ahead of his teammate. But with 2 to go, it's Halm, Gerolf, and Abzi, Frankie, Mika, Davey, and Davey making the top 7. And the cars start to attack one another. But they'll get DRS, Lesty, on the final lap of the race.
Yeah, we could see some last lap moves. It's crazy. Will Joam hold on to this win? It's going to be between him and Giroflew. Abzi, I think those tyres are gone now, so he's just trying to hold off.
Yeah.
The 4 or 5 cars that are trailing behind him.
Oh, a good dive from Mika up the inside into the Seat turn 5. He's trying to squeeze the DRA driver on the outside, but he's holding on. It's Frankie trying to keep. This is going to get unpleasant, I think, in a moment. The interlock wheels, they touch going into turn 8, and it's all over the road. This is surely going to open up the door to anyone driving behind this group. But Davey wasn't ready to give that one up as Mika goes back down the inside into turn 10. Side by side. Hopefully they can do this a little bit cleaner than before. Mika getting by Davey, but I think they let Frankie through. No, they didn't let Frankie through. I think Frankie's okay. And yeah, all happening. Lap 32, the leader about to start his final lap with Gerolf Yu just 3/4 of a second behind him. Abzi, as you say, Lesty, on the defensive.
He's on defensive. He's got Davey coming at him, but I think he's going to hold off. He's just got to keep it planted for the rest of the lap now, and I think he's going to get that 3rd place.
I've got a comment, unsurprisingly, from NLR saying that Felix is flying. He's up to P9 after all those issues. Felix with a very typical for him strong restart. I'm going to focus on the lead. Wow! As Gerolf Yu tries to brake on the grass and gets his line completely wrong. I don't know if that's focus or if that's tyre death, but at lap 15, it's more likely to be tyre death than anybody. Halm trying to hang on here. This is it. We're approaching the final DRS zone of the lap. It's spend now for Gerolf Yu, but he's just not close enough. Needs to pile the pressure on. Abzi defending from Davey, but Davey not able to make a move either. I think Abzi's going to hold on. I think Halm will get relegated following a penalty, but we have to assume that that will get removed if he has given up the chance to serve it. And we're heading into the final corner, the New Holland right-hander, turn 16. It's Halm who takes the win for LFR. I'm going to have to call it the way I see it. Gerolf Yu in second, Abzi in third. Obviously, Halm disappearing down the order. Davey got got 4th place in the end. 4th to Lucas, a good result for LFR. NLR getting 2nd and 3rd as far as I can see. Yagazan, a final lap out of absolutely nowhere, up to P6. Following everyone else's penalties. Then Frankie for DRA, Mika, Davey, Felix won. Unfortunately, CPI'd in 11th, 12th and 13th positions. Then Acosta and Janssen. And that was absolute breathless Spanish Grand Prix, Lesty.
Yeah, had action all the way from the start to the finish. Oh, as Acosta takes the fastest lap. That's an extra point for LFR. But I think we will be seeing NLR, TFL and LFR. Did I say LFR? I've lost all.
Yeah, I think 3 of those. Yeah, and, so NLR, LFR, and TFR, presumably the guys who are going to get through. Gerolf Yu with I think an 18th place climb gets that drive of the day. I don't know if you agree with that, Lesty, but that's what the game's given up.
I think so. He banked on the hard start, and the safety car came exactly when he needed it. So fair play to him. He's driven a great race, no mistakes there, and he'll be happy he got the job done. And LNR will be happy as well.
Definitely. We'll see. Of course, we do fully expect Halm to appeal the penalty he was given, and he worked so hard to make sure he could get that removed and didn't end up serving it in the pit. So I'm going to call it the way I think it went down. Halm first, and then Gerolf Yu and Abzi second and third. Davey, I think, in 4th for TFL, the highest TFL driver, which they would not be happy with after qualifying. But I would imagine they'll be happy to get through to the finals nonetheless. Lucas in 5th, Yagizan for TFL in 6th with a fantastic final lap. Then Frankie for DRA, Mika for TFL, Davey for DRA, Felix 1 for NLR, and then we've got the CPI drivers Razorback and Hidder, LFR's A Costa, CPI Snell, TFL's Janssen, all got to the finish with the fastest lap from A Costa. Then Pedro, Bo, Jalmar, Emil and Mr. BT failed to finish the race and will not pick up any points out of this evening's racing. But the points were well spread across the field. I think some very good results, some very good driving, and a very difficult night out there at Catalonia, Lesty.
Yeah, difficult. I think some teams were in pole position at one point, and then a safety car comes out and it changes everything. So
yeah,
I mean, from a CPI point of view, we were looking good at one point, and then it's all changed. So that's how quickly these things can change. And well, I'm pretty sure we won't be making the final. So we will wish the best for the 3 that have gone through. And I'm looking forward to the finals. I think it's going to be even tighter. I mean, This group's been tight as it is, but you got to add the 2 best teams from Group 2 as well, and it's going to be neck and neck. It really is. It's going to be really exciting 4 races.
Yeah, I'm absolutely. I cannot wait, and I'm really glad to be commentating on the final group. I'm expecting to see IRT and QRT through, given the point situations as they stood after round 3, and so getting those guys in amongst the mix with the top 3 out of Group 1 potentially, because it's not confirmed until all stewards' reports have been submitted. But potentially we've got on our hands an absolute showstopper for the finals. Do make sure you've subscribed to the channel and you're following Crown League and Webber Red 5 on Twitter, and we'll get all the machinations, all the decisions, and the final 5 teams to take on this brilliant tournament. We'll get them confirmed for you on socials in the week. But from me, Webbo, and from Lesty, we wish you all a good rest of the evening, and we will catch you on the next race day.